The second Glass Beach album is here, Plastic Death. The first Glass Beach album, which is called the first Glass Beach album, came out quite a few years ago now. I did quite like it when it came out. I thought what they were doing, their approach to indie rock was pretty creative. I quite liked it. It didn't quite tickle me fancy from start to end, but that was the first Glass Beach album. While we're on the topic of firsts, though, this is my first favourite album of 2024. This is the first one that's really got me going. This is the first one, and it's quite an early release as well, so fair play to Glass Beach. They've got me good in January. The general reception to this album has been very positive for sure, but there has been quite a vocal minority dismissing this album quite easily, which I'm surprised at. I thought this was going to be the one album that everyone was just going to champion and absolutely love. I mean, there's a lot of positivity around it, don't get me wrong. But yeah, there's been a few comments or reviews that I've seen that have just very much dismissed it. But I thought this album was going to be the one that appealed to a lot of indie rock fans, because I just think it's got all the qualities and all the makings of such a great album in this field, while also expanding on their previous sound and pushing the sound pretty far at times with super long and winding track lengths on this album and super catchy, upbeat, smacking indie rock bangers on this album too, while also having some really emotional and potent and beautiful moments as well. I just thought it was a whirlwind of clashing sounds that I just expected everyone to be on board with, but I guess you can't always please everyone. But I will say they definitely pleased me with this one. The opening track, I think, sets things up perfectly. It sets the tone really well for this album. You've got the two sides of Glass Beach being demonstrated really bloody well on this one track. I mean, that pained, whimpered delivery, which you get in the first leg of the song, which sounds really emotional and heartfelt. But then that instrumental freak out at the end, with those friggin' drums, it sounds excellent, this part. They kind of delve into a bit more of like a metal section. I mean, it's not quite like metal, but good God, they're pushing the sound and hitting us with some really heavy moments on this part, which I think sounds bloody great as well. So yeah, these two parts of the song demonstrate what they're able to do on this one album. On guitar song as well, you do get that pained and whimpered delivery that comes pretty frequently throughout this album, and I think the main influence that could be Tom York. I mean, I'm very much feeling Radiohead a lot on this album, in a good way as well. I mean, of course, that's not a bad thing to be influenced by that kind of band, but yeah, I do find myself, when the sort of drawing that comparison, when the tracks do go through those kind of like passages and the vocals can really elongate, and you've got the kind of really beautiful falsetto delivery that comes through from this vocalist on those tracks. I think it's really cool to hear. But then that other side of Glass Beach I was talking about comes through so well on tracks like Motions and Rare Animal. The fire comes out so fiercely on these tracks, and good God, Motions has got to be one of my favourite tracks of the year already. The Dismemberment Plan influence on this track, come on man, come on, you tell me you're not hearing that? This sounds so prime for that era of Dismemberment Plan, man. I love what they do as well, but good God, the chorus, the guitar, everything about this track just screams that era, and for all good reason. Pure euphoria when the point of the track just breaks into the I wanna find. I sound so good, that bit. Equally, the pure euphoria, the pure bliss when those vocals break out on Rare Animal into the thinking about you. It's so anthemic, it sounds so frigging good. I absolutely love it. Those little screams that come through as well, there's quite a few moments on this album where you just hear those little growly screams that you'd expect maybe from like a post-hardcore band just bleeding into the tracks. It's very subtly done. It's not like in your face, and it doesn't take up a huge chunk of the song, but you do hear them break through occasionally on this album. I quite appreciate that as well. The Killer sounds super cinematic. It sounds super larger than life. I absolutely love the dynamics of this track to just lift the song and make it feel so big, make it feel so hopeless at the same time as well. It's almost like you're dying on your last breath or dying on your last word. It just feels like you've got to get it out there as quick as you possibly can before the moment passes. It's really, really cleverly done song. Wailful with those beautiful vocal passages, which do go on for quite a long time, but I do think it's worth the wait to see the instrumental and the darkness of the song just become more and more brooding and more mysterious. Like, it does enter a point of the song where I'm just kind of confused as to where it's going to go. It makes me feel quite anxious, but I quite like what they do for the song, and I think it's a really cool feeling that it gives you. The CIA, again, is a track that just gets more and more frantic as the song goes on. It absolutely becomes a mess of a song, but it sounds so friggin' good. It's like absolutely mad at the end. I do think the lyrics across this album, being very abstract, pairs nicely with a lot of these tracks instrumentally as well. The confusion, the uncertainty, the not knowing how things are or where things are going to go, maybe about yourself or maybe about your own life or anything like that, just really comes through a lot, because the tracks do just kind of have these frantic, unhinged moments that just go completely off the chain, but also have these really slow, winding moments as well, where the instrumentals just kind of take you on a journey in such a weird way. And of course, tracks like Cul-de-sac, again, like I'm saying, with the abstract lyricism, where you're just not quite sure entirely what it is that is going on here, but it does make for a really interesting read. Comatose as well, which is this 9-minute epic track, absolutely brilliant, this song. The guitar rhythm with their sounds so good. And yeah, a lot of the lyrics, once again, referencing ghosts, referencing not being able to hear you, the plastic death line that pops up a few times as well. Really interesting stuff here. Doesn't really explicitly tell you at every moment or hold your hand at every moment and tell you what every track is about, or is very clear what every song is about, but it does keep you intrigued, it does keep you invested, it does keep you wondering and reading those lines over and over again that just make you think, what is this referencing specifically to? And I do like that about this album. I do feel like each time I'm going to go back to it, I'm going to reveal something about it that makes me go, oh yeah, that could be referencing that, that could be about that. But at this moment in time, I'm still left in that abstract zone where I'm just a bit like, these tracks could be about many different things. Yeah, I just absolutely love the energy that they put into this album. I just think the creativity is off the charts. I think the instrumentals are just far more dynamic and interesting than the first Last Speech album. Not to say I didn't like that one, but I just think it's a massive improvement on every front to get to where they got from there to here. The choruses are catchier, the choruses are more anthemic, there's euphoric moments that are absolutely wonderful to hear. There are frantic, unhinged moments as well. There are slow, winding, patience testing moments, should I say, that keep you on edge. There's an eeriness, there's a confusion, there's an uncertainty, there's a weird sense of dread on a lot of this album, and it creates, for me, one of the most cool indie rock albums I've heard in quite some time, honestly. This is an easy 8 out of 10. I've loved going back and forth with this album, like listening to it, picking out different tracks, trying to figure out what exactly is going on, trying to figure out exactly what I'm supposed to take from some of the lyrical ideas. And I think going back and forth with this album in the future is going to continue being rewarding in that kind of way, while also just being rewarding musically as well. This is just such good, exciting music that I am very happy with, essentially. If that even is a good way to put it, because I don't think it is. Thank you for watching this review. I did want to get this review out a little sooner than I have done, but a few things got in the way, and here we are. But hopefully it's been worth the wait. You've got something out of this, you've enjoyed what I've had to say, and let me know in the comments as well what you think of this. And yeah, please subscribe, please check out more videos. Please share this video around and tell me what I should listen to and review next. Subscribe, have a good day, goodbye.